All right. So, hi, I'm Nicole. I'm a senior in high school in Maryland. So, some fun facts about me are that I play the saxophone in like a bunch of bands. I also play piano and like to explore other instruments and all that jazz. I also really like puns. And I'm a co-president of the environmental club at my school called Geo Club. And initially, my plan was to get my whole club involved with PGC and just make it a competition just between ourselves, but nobody signed up. But it all worked out, and PGC made me a better leader. So initially, I thought like I didn't have enough knowledge to create change or be a leader, but PGC was the perfect crash course for me. And I realized that the more I learned, the more comfortable I was with having discussions with other people. PGC also has so many online resources that I can refer to for things like planning my club meetings. I've had some meaningful discussions with my club related to the Story of Plastic documentary, our water carbon footprints, and social justice. Before, I had no idea how to lead my club or what to do. But after PGC, I just like have so many ideas now. Um, so PGC helped me boost my confidence as a leader, and it also pushed me out of my comfort zone, like going live on Instagram and being on social media just in general. And like I know I'm Gen Z, but I'm like the definition of a hermit. So I was just pushed out of my comfort zone so many times that I gained confidence in doing other things, like speaking during class discussions or reaching out to random people and organizations for help. And I'll be talking about this tree planish organization that I have pictured below later, but basically they help groups host their own tree planting event. And I also had a big epiphany when I was filling out my finals application. That same day, I had a meeting with my team, and the imposter syndrome kind of kicked in. I felt like I had no idea what I was doing, and it would be better if somebody else were doing it. And then it hit me. I was like, this is exactly the kind of mindset that prevents change from happening. I thought to myself, if not me, then who? And I was like, Nicole, just stop it. You're a brand new woman. This is literally what PGC is all about. So I've learned a lot, and I want to continue to learn more and like make better life decisions and teach others all sorts of things. And most days, my family asks me questions about stuff like recycling, and then I'll teach them things like what these symbols mean. I also really learned the importance of voting with my dollar and using my voice, whether that's through social media or letters to representatives. I also was inspired by two topics, plastic waste and soil. The Kiss the Ground documentary was so eye-opening and completely new to me that I want to integrate this educational aspect into my project, which I'm going to talk about now. So broadly, my CAP project is vertical gardens, and this is a picture of the project design I'm going for. A more professional version is shown in this picture. But what's so great about this project is it's very flexible. So worst case, I install one garden at one location. A better case would be multiple locations and gardens. And then the best case would be creating an organization to help other groups install their own gardens. I'd like to install them at more urban places or very impervious areas. I'd love to have perennials that are native to Maryland, and I'd like to decorate it with some kind of artsy plaque that explains the benefits and purpose of that garden. And I specifically want to use reused bottles because I want people to walk by and say, like, wow, look, they reuse bottles, like how cute and inspiring. You know? So I'd also really like to hold some kind of educational workshop before the installations. But for any garden, plants clean out air pollutants, but also views of nature and plants are associated with comfort and positive attitudes. And I don't know about you guys, but I like a world with more happy people. And it's a great way to repurpose plastic soda bottles. They're perfect for urban locations and places that lack biodiversity. And these places normally have more exposure to air pollutants, and also some people lack the space to have a garden. So vertical gardens help solve these issues. So my short-term goals are to increase the size of my team, which is slowly happening as I'm contacting more people. A lot of the people actually listed here have contacted me back. I also secured a location at a place called Freetown Farm, and I met the director there like last week who said I could grow plants in their greenhouse. I also need to finalize my design plan, but I know that I want a hose drip water system, a wooden frame, and 36 bottles. And that's a picture of some of my team. And actually, when I met with my team, I was thrilled to hear they had the exact skills I was looking for. And the people I just met at Freetown Farm are willing to help with the construction and installation. I also just heard back from my local garden service, and I'm in the midst of choosing plants. I still want more people working on things like ads, posters, and the more handy and tech savvy people, the better. My long-term goals are to get materials, then the actual installations and maintenance, organizing a workshop, and then creating an organization. So my idea was to imitate the way that the Tree Plenish organization does it. So if you remember, their logo was on one of my first slides. So they basically guide us step by step every month until the actual event. So my event would be the garden installations, and they do this all for zero cost. So what this would include marketing and fundraising strategies and making info sheets that will guide other groups to install their own gardens. Lastly, all of this has inspired me to choose my mentorship topic for my second semester at school to be vertical gardens, because I found all this to be interesting, and hopefully my research will help me in the future with my project. So this timeline is definitely subject to change, but my next steps are choosing and like really finalizing the design and then beginning ads. If this project were to continue past April, and I know this is like past the deadline, I'd be in like the initial stages of creating the organization. So after recently talking with my mentor, I feel more confident in covering costs, but more money means more gardens. And so far, my idea is to get as many people interested in this project through ads and such, and reaching out to the Freetown Farm, my club, and my school to maybe pitch in a few dollars. And COVID shouldn't be a big problem because most work will either be done virtually in small groups or outside in big spaces. And I mentioned most of this already, but I also planned a meeting with the founders of that organization called Tree Plenish so that we can discuss how they started and how they grew as an organization. That top picture is what Freetown Farm looks like from the top, and then that bottom picture is a potential plant choice. And so basically my big takeaway is that nobody deserves to not have a garden just because they don't have space. And it's like we can easily get the resources, so why not install them at places that want them, need them, or benefit from them? So thank you for listening.